I'm Kimberly Grieger for the 9/11 Tribute Museum, and I'm with Annemarie DeAngelo, Training Director at the Penn Vet Working Dog Center. So the September 11th community will be interested in your law enforcement background. Can you tell us something about that and how it led to your work with the dogs?
Prior to my law enforcement career, I had a love for dogs, and I had a crazy Doberman that I was losing control over. So I hired a personal trainer. And I was lucky because not only was he a trainer, but he had a lot of experience with working dogs. So at the same time, actually that happened right at the same time, because I entered the New Jersey State Police in 1980, and I got this dog in 1980. So what he opened up to me was a whole new world of canine. You know, I had no experience with working dogs or search or odor or anything like that. And, you know, we started working my dogs, and, you know, he just showed me so much that you could do with dogs that it was wonderful. The state police at that time did not have a canine unit. So I wanted to get one started. And so I put in a lot of paperwork and a lot of time. I did a lot of research and bought my own dog and started training him for narcotics, because in 1980, narcotics was much bigger than explosives. I was a little yellow Labrador retriever. Took him through school, put the proposal together, and they accepted it 5 years late. No, it took me 5 years to get it started. 1988, they got their first canine program. And I was just very fortunate to be able to work a dog and be a police officer, because those were my two loves. So it worked out just wonderful for me.
Oh, that's great. How did you come to Penn Vet?
Well, when I came to Penn Vet, after I retired in 2012, so I did almost 32 years in the New Jersey State Police. I came to Penn Vet. A friend of mine who I'd worked canine with in Philadelphia, because one of the schools I went to was in Philadelphia. He said to me, he said, "I got a great job for you in Philly." And I'm like, there is nothing I would drive to Philly for every day. And because I live an hour from here, I live just north of Trenton in Jersey. And he said, "Go down and meet Dr. Otto." I said, okay. So I did. I came down and I met with Dr. Otto, and just listening to her vision and what she wanted to create and what she wanted to accomplish. It's like, how can I not be involved in something that amazing that, you know, this person wants to do all the research and the science and the training behind these wonderful working dogs. How can I say no to this? So I said yes. And I said I would give them 5 years, and we're just about finishing 9 now, and you can't leave.
That's great.
It's such an amazing place. And what I have learned here, you know, I did 32 years of dog training before I came here. I have learned so much from all the different people here and from all the people that come in here. And sometimes you learn what not to do, and sometimes you learn, wow, this is really cool. Let's incorporate that into our training. And what's nice is we can. You know, Dr. Otto will turn it into a research study, but that's okay. We're always learning good stuff.
That's fabulous. I understand that the puppies train at Penn Vet for 8 weeks. Is that right?
Oh, no, we get them in 8 weeks. So we start our puppies off at 8 weeks of age. So they're either donated by reputable breeders all over the country, or we breed them ourselves. And, you know, we had pretty good success rate. We've had 133 dogs go through the program. We have 26 here currently in training. 6 of those are dedicated totally to research. Proof of concept. Can dogs smell the eggs of the spotted lanternfly? Ovarian cancer. We're doing COVID. So 6 dogs are primarily used for that. They'll never go out anywhere, but there are research dogs. And then we have the other 20 that will eventually go out and get careers. We have 100 graduates, and we have 7 that we call contributors, dogs that did not work out in the working dog world, but we learned from them. You know, we learned. So, you know, if we're learning, it's not a failure.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I've heard you have a 94% success rate. I mean,
I think that's about what it is out of 133. Well, out of 107 dogs that have completed the program, we have 100 successful graduates that are in careers. It's pretty
That's
amazing.
It's incredible. So they start training at 8 weeks.
They
Okay.
start training in 8 weeks.
That seems so young. I mean, take us through.
Would you like to see our newest recruit?
Yes.
Hey, buddy, can you wake up?
Oh, you're going to wake him up for us.
Come here. Hi, buddy.
Oh.
So this is Finder. Finder just got here Tuesday. He's still in quarantine, which is why he's by my desk. And he is a Lagotto Romagnolo. And I might not be saying that right.
He's beautiful.
He's a sweetheart. He's the first of this. I had never heard of this breed before.
I haven't either.
The breeder had called us and said, we would love to get one of our dogs into your program. I said, I've never even heard of that dog before. So we did some research and we decided to give him a shot. And he'll be out of quarantine tomorrow. So he'll actually start training tomorrow.
Oh,
Right,
fantastic. So what's his first day going to be like? How do you take a little fuzzy guy like that and turn him into a working dog?
Well, he already had his first Border Patrol test today. So we want to get let's see what he'll do in a new situation, in a new surrounding with people he really doesn't know. Let's get a baseline. Excuse me. So we went out, we were throwing toys and we're having him crawl through tunnels and more like environmental things. Does he want to play? We get a flirt pole, which is a pole with a toy on the end, and it's just see what he's got naturally. And where we actually took him, because we have a lot of coughing dogs here, so we took him to a place where we hardly ever go, and he did pretty well. I'm pretty impressed, and he's such a sweetheart.
Oh, he's adorable.
So we'll start the dogs at 8 weeks with finding people and also finding odor. Between 8 and 10 weeks, they'll start doing both. So for people, we just do runaways. And we'll get the puppy and we'll tease him up with a toy, and the person will just run around the corner and duck down. The puppy finds him. You have a party. We'll use a little cardboard box where it's kind of it closes. It's a cardboard wall that has bends in it, and you leave it open. The dog runs around. It's all baby steps, but it's all to set them up for success. They have to enjoy what they're doing. They have to love it, and if they do, they're gonna excel at it. So we just want them to have a lot of fun.
That's great. I was hoping that loving it would be part of it. I mean, I've had my bag sniffed by dogs, and they seem to have so much fun doing that.
Oh yeah. Well, if they find that odor, then it's party time. They get their reward. Most of our dogs are toy driven, so they get to get their toy, their ball, their tug, whatever they like. If they're food driven, they get to have some snacks. But when I used to take I had 2 dogs that I worked during my career, but I would say, you want to go to work? It was like, yeah, let's go, let's party. Yeah, and I was on call 24/7. So when the phone would ring in the middle of the night, my dogs would know we were going somewhere, and they'd be running around the house, and I'm getting out of bed like, whoa, come on.
Are there breeds that don't want to work? Are there breeds you'll never work with? I mean, Chihuahuas or Irish setters or...
I don't know if I would work a Chihuahua, but I actually thought about getting a Jack Russell when I was in the state police, because I used to do a lot of tractor trailers, and to put the dog inside the cargo. I had a big shepherd. I had a big lab. Just didn't fit. I thought maybe if I could get a Jack Russell, slide him right in there, and he could let me know what's going on. We have more success with the hunting breeds, the Labradors, We've had a couple Goldens, but we have more Dutch Shepherds and more Malinois, more German Shepherds. Labs are real big. We have more labs here now than anything. This breed I just showed you, that's an Italian working breed. So that was a very, very old breed that was originally used to hunt for waterfowl, and they almost died out. And some people brought them back to hunt truffles.
Oh, that's great.
Now you want that hunting breed. You want that dog that has that natural desire to want to hunt, has good play drive, good prey drive, good hunt drive, because that's what you need. If you had a dog that, just doesn't want to hunt, they're not going to do you any good.
Right. And I understand the dogs choose their specialty.
They do. We give them everything. And that's whatever they want to do. We start them off with all the same foundation skills, in obedience and in agility and proprioception, which is body awareness. We start them off with fitness programs, search for live people, search for odor work. And you can see what they like to do. It's the happiest they get. And we put them into careers where they enjoy doing the work, because if they enjoy doing it, they're going to be successful. And our dogs are pretty much finished by the time they leave. And the handlers really just drive them there, let them loose, they'll do the job.
Right. So how are the V dogs doing in training? How long have they been there and how are they doing?
Well, they came February, March. They came about the end of March. So April, May. So they've been here almost 2 months. The litter's amazing. I mean, they are, I have not seen a puppy with any problems yet.
Mhm.
Some are a little bit more exuberant, like when they want to go, it's like, yeah, let's go. But they're all in that, showing great potential. There's not one of them that I'm really concerned won't get a job.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. And how much longer do they have to train?
They'll probably be with us until they're at least a year old. We don't like to let them go before that. We need the data for our research, because all during their lives here with us, we'll do Border Patrol testing and other testing on them to try to figure out, like, can you predict early on what a dog's going to be good at? So that causes, we need a lot of data. Plus they go through different fear periods. So we've cut it off at the earliest they can leave is a year old. And those babies are all, there's a demand. We have a waiting list that's probably 18 months to 2 years for our dogs.
Wow.
Yeah. So if they want to work, they'll all have jobs.
And we're getting near the end of the alphabet for the September 11th dogs.
I know.
Will that cycle back and go back to the A's again?
I think it probably will, because there are certainly enough, cat victims of that attack that there's plenty of people. And I would hate to stop that. Now, our dogs are either named after victims that were killed during the attacks or dogs that served during the attack. Right. So, if it's a litter from the TSA breeding or a descendant from the TSA breeding, then they aren't all named after victims.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that number is growing, because now there's about 4,000 people who've died of September 11th related illnesses too.
Wow.
So.
Well, yeah. I don't ever see it stopping.
Yeah. I think she was meant to be a surprise for you, and I wasn't 100% sure she could come. But this is Tanya Villanueva Tepper, who is, well, I'll let her tell you who she is. Hi, Tanya.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I'm sorry. I'm walking my own dog here in Miami, Florida. And I wanted to say thank you for naming one of the dogs Sergio after Sergio Villanueva, my wonderful, beautiful fiance who gave his life on September 11th.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that. That's a tough one, but yeah, we're very happy to do that.
Yeah, and what was surprising to me was it wasn't just Sergio's name that came up in this batch. You also have one named after Gopal Varanadhan.
Oh, Vara, yes, she's here now. Yes, she's here.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So, well,
very nice pup.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Gopal, I went to high school with. So that's an added blessing. And I shared it with our class of 86 Bronx High School of Science, that this beautiful little puppy was named after him.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's a
thank
good girl. You're welcome.
I know you're doing some testing with COVID.
Yes.
How is that working out?
It's working out good. They're actually doing it right behind me. I don't know if you could see them working back there.
I can see somebody back there.
So you have the people in the white shirts, which are actually holding a positive COVID sample, one of them. And then the other people walking around are holding T-shirts that were COVID negative. So what the dog is doing, I wish I could pick my computer up and take you out there, but I can't do that. So what the dog is doing is he's learning to search people that are holding a contaminated t-shirt. So it's going well. It's going well. And these are not, some of them are our dogs that are used in that research.
Mhm.
I guess he was successful. I don't know if you can hear the cheering out there. But it's going well. There's definitely an odor that's associated with the COVID that the dogs do pick up and alert on.
Mhm. It's just so exciting. And I know you have a breeding program. You mentioned that, and Dr. Otto mentioned something about that. Can you tell us more about what that is?
Sure. We try to breed at least one litter a year. Usually it's one. The V litter was our last. We used Pinto, who was a descendant from the TSA breeding program. One of the top females, one of the top female performers. She is actually she has a job with New Jersey Task Force 1. She's a human remains detection dog. And we chose for the sire, the stud, we chose a dog named Oso, who's with Arizona Task Force. Also a wonderful, wonderful dog, great disposition, extremely social, loves to work, just lives to work. So we did breed those two, and we got this beautiful litter of 8 puppies, 1 boy and 7 girls. And they're all doing well. They've been training with us. They're 4 months old now, and they've been in training for 2 months. So we try to do that. And, it's always who are we breeding? And we're very careful about who we select.
Mhm.
And, you keep your fingers crossed because you never know, you never know with genetics.
Right.
But the last few litters that we've done, I could not be more happy with. I mean, 2 dogs are in Canada now, even in Canada. They come down and get their dogs here. And, the people stay in touch with us. They tell us their successes. If they're having problems, we want to know about it because we want to help. We
Sure.
know the dog's potential. So, either come back and train with us or we'll do it by video. We like to stay connected with our dogs. It doesn't have to be from our breeding program, but all of our dogs.
Mhm. How many places are there that do something akin to what you do?
I don't think any place does it like we do it. There's Auburn, which does an amazing job with the dogs that they use over there, but it's not so much, we have diversity in our career options. If a dog doesn't want to be a USAR dog, it can go do something else, or it can,
Mhm.
try different things. We have dogs that do just wilderness search, or dogs that do the USAR, the urban search and rescue. We have dual purpose police dogs, single purpose police dogs. So you have quite a choice. It's like my kids, they go to college and they change careers on me. It's like, what do you want to do now? I saw a question come up. Do you want me to answer that? It was back to the COVID dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. If a question came up, please.
Okay. The question is do COVID sniffing dogs need to be vaccinated? They are not. They're not vaccinated, but we did test them prior to and during the study. And so far it's been, no problem. But we're using samples that are, the samples that we used originally were samples that were deactivated. And then the t-shirts that we're using currently from people that tested positive with COVID, that they're supposed to be safe. And of course, we wear the PPE, whatever precautions we need, to handle the t-shirts.
Right. What do people need to know that we haven't covered about what you do?
Oh, there's so much that we could talk about. I mean, the puppies come here at 8 weeks. They all live with foster families, so nobody's kenneled here. They go home with foster families. The foster families go through a great deal of training before they're even given a puppy to take home. Our foster coordinator, Tessa Seals, does an amazing job of working with these people because some of these dogs, they're not the easiest to have as house pets. They need to be active or they can be destructive. And but our fosters are wonderful. They take the dogs all over the place. They have vests that say working dogs in training because the more they expose them to, the better it is for us. They bring them to school Monday through Friday. drop them off in the morning and pick them up around 4 or 5 o'clock. And the pups are all assigned to different trainers. Sometimes we rotate trainers, and the trainers are amazing. They're all from different backgrounds. When Dr. Otto originally hired all of the staff that worked here, I was the only full-time trainer. Pat Kainarolu was hired as the volunteer coordinator. Well, what Dr. Otto did was, I had the law enforcement experience. I didn't know anything about training a USAR dog, nothing. But Pat, who was the volunteer outreach coordinator, had been in search and rescue for 30 years. So, it was a great combination. And on top of that, Pat and I trained together, back in the early 90s. We had trained together, and then she went to Turkey to start USAR over in Turkey, and she was actually out in Colorado when she was hired. But what happened was, because this is based on search and rescue dogs, Pat is such an amazing trainer, and she has taught me so much, that the team was just so put together so well that everybody complimented each other. And now we have 2 law enforcement trainers, 3 full-time trainers for the dogs that are here. We have research trainers, and Pat is now the training manager. We've just grown so much. But the team is amazing to work with. I mean, just amazing. So supportive of each other. And these dogs are awesome. And to play a part and watch these babies from 8 weeks on, learning to do a job that they are going to possibly save lives, fight crime. They're going to make a difference in this world. And they do. And when you hear the success stories of the dogs that graduate, and now today with social media, you get pictures right away and videos right away. It's amazing to be a part of that, which is why I'm still here. How can I leave? I can't leave.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
it sounds like the best job ever, frankly.
It is the best job ever. Absolutely.
Is dog trainer a job that needs more people? I mean, is that a growing field?
I think dog training is an awesome field to be in. And I think good dog trainers are really well needed. So, yes. This is Bob Doherty. He's one of our trainers here.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, thank you.
Bob runs our law enforcement program. So he's got his hands full. That has grown tremendously. We in service about 30 some dogs a month. And it's, what's really cool about that program is law enforcement was stuck in this. We do it this way because it's the way we've always done it. And I was brought up in that career. But here with Dr. Otto, she's so much more progressive and so much more into positive reinforcement and, doing it a good, fun way. So the dogs are really enjoying it. The dogs that we're turning out for, dual purpose careers, they're happy. They're going to work and their ears are up, and it's just so much fun.
That's great. What percentage of your dogs do what job? I mean, what's the most popular job among the dogs, and who are the special?
I think I could probably pull that up for you. Hold on 1 second. So let's see. We have spreadsheets on everything. So law enforcement, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 41, 45, 45 in law enforcement, 19, 26, 27, 28. 28, 32. So I guess most of them, so we're looking at like 32, 33 have gone into some type of USAR, either wilderness, and 45 have gone out into law enforcement. But those are a lot of single purpose dogs too. Some dogs just don't like rubble. You get these dogs and they'll get on rubble and they'll be like, no, this isn't for me. It takes a very, very special dog to want to do the urban search and rescue like they were used during the attacks of 9/11. Those dogs those dogs are a cut above. They're fearless. They want to do so much. So I consider them like the elite of the working dogs because it takes so much nerve strength and so much proprioception and so much drive and the desire to go out and hunt and find these people. So those dogs, you don't get as many of those as you would like a bomb dog or a drug dog,
Right.
But they're important too. I don't want to play that down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I saw a bit of what the dogs did during the recovery. I was there with the Red Cross and the Salvation Army and would see bits from the periphery of what they did. And I was just...
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? I just, every time I watch them work, from when they're babies until they're ready to walk out the door with their new partners, I'm always amazed by what they can do. Our whole program is based on research. Dr. Otto was up at 9/11. I'm sure she told you this.
Yes.
And saw a lot of the discrepancies in the dogs, and how can we better produce and help these dogs learn, working dogs.
Yes. How long once you've matched a dog with the new partner, the new human partner, does the new partner come to you and train you before you go?
Mandatory. It's mandatory that they come to us for at least 1 week because we want that transition. We like them to stay longer. Like we offer, come stay 2 weeks. A lot of the people can't do that. However, the people from Canada take advantage. Arizona takes advantage 2 weeks, but we mandate you have to come for 1 week of training. And during that week, they're not allowed to take the dog right away. We have to see that bond building. We have to see that connection happening. And we have had people train here after a week and we've said, I'm sorry, this is not the dog for you. This is not the right placement. And they know it too. They see it. They're not connected. And that's not what we want to send out there. We want to send people with dogs that are a team, that are going to go out and work and be successful and enjoy doing it together. And I have to tell you, some of the handlers that we get in here are just amazing. I mean, they're wonderful. And then we get the ones that are really, really green and have absolutely no idea. And it's an awakening for them. I mean, a real awakening. Excuse me. There is so much to learn, but usually those people are going to a team where we know they're going to get the support that they need. They're leaving, they get 2 weeks of training, they get lots of videos to go back on to watch about, them training themselves, plus how the dog was trained. But they have a support group and we're always there. We always want to make sure that it's working. And we've taken dogs back. We've had handlers go out for a couple of months and say, we're having problems. This isn't working. Well, we don't want that. We'll take the dog back. Yeah. Now there's, you have to be in touch with us and tell us what you're doing and show me what you're doing so possibly I can help you. I don't want 6 months out or 3 months out, somebody calling me up and saying, dog's not working, we're sending it back. Whoa, time out. Where was our communication? So we do follow up. Like if you're leaving, if you leave, how's it going? How's training going? How's the dog? So, but we want good teams out there and we want our dogs to be happy and we want to save lives. So.
Yeah, that's great.
It's fun.
Is there anything we haven't touched on that you?
There is so much going on around here. I mean, we have done, so much research and, different things. We have doing a lot more with conservation now, with spotted lanternflies, with the chronic wasting disease. So it's going in that direction where the dogs are branching out. We just graduated our first spotted lanternfly dog. Do you know what they are? Are you familiar with those?
No clue. Nope.
Oh, you're lucky. Wait till they come to New York. Are you in New York, right?
Yes. Yeah, we don't have too much wildlife here.
Oh, these flies are all over Philadelphia. I mean, all over Philadelphia. They were brought in from another country and now they're just taking over. They eat the vegetation. So what happened is Philadelphia is a very, very hot area. The flies will lay egg masses in September, October. They'll stay dormant until the spring. So we trained Lucky. Well, first we did our research. Could dogs do this? And we found out, yes, they can. So they will alert to the egg masses of the spotted lanternfly. So Department of Agriculture wanted that dog because they do a lot of inspections on vehicles that are going out of state. And it's so much easier for a dog to sniff a car and say, yes, it's clean, than you to get down and try and find these egg masses, which sometimes are very, very difficult to even see. So they've been pretty successful. They're out there doing well. And now we're doing a study on chronic wasting disease, which is a fatal disease in deer. So it's areas that I never thought I would be doing, but then we do ovarian cancer too. And that was, I was a drug dog handler. So we've come a long way. And Dr. Otto is always thinking outside the box, can we do this? Or how can we do this better? She does an amazing job with her performance medicine program. If you think about dogs that get injured when they're working or when they're not working, or they have to have surgery, people get injured. We go into rehab. Working dogs, for the most part, was okay, get healed up, and then go back to work. Well, there was no, let's get you back in shape so that you're ready to go to work. So I've seen her take some, dogs that were really needed rehab, and she has a fantastic program for that.
That's so exciting.
It is. It really is. It's you never know what's happening here.
Thank you so much for talking to us. This
You're
has
welcome.
been really great.
You're welcome. And I got to get up there and see the museum. I've seen clips of it, and I really look forward to it.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. We'd love to come down with some of our guides and see what you do.
Oh, I would love to have you. We just got to clear it through with the COVID protocols.
Right.
But they're lifting, right?
Yeah, definitely. Slow but sure.
I know we went through we were closed for like 3 months. So we had those poor puppies that came in at like 8 weeks, and then COVID hit. So some of them became like couch potatoes. It's like, oh, no. You're a working dog. Come on, let's get you back. So we ran into, especially with the last litter, it was our ewe litter, right? Yeah, they were out for they missed 3 months of training. I mean, they all caught up. But with a couple of, not the ewe litter, there was one shepherd in particular that I'm talking about. I think he was the youngest to come in. And honestly, when he got back here, it was like, come on, let's go find the guy. He's like, I'll just go lay over here. It's like, no, buddy, no. Remember, it's in there. I know it's in there. Oh, he's fine now. He's fine. He'll be leaving in August. He'll start patrol school the end of August.
Oh, good. It's just so incredible to know that you're out there making the world better with all these wonderful dogs.
Well, you know what? It's not just me. It's this team. And and included in the staff that we have and the trainers are the volunteers and the interns that we have, because we couldn't do it without them. I mean, we have a whole volunteer outreach coordinator program that Ruth runs, and those kids are amazing. And, I've seen some of them completely change their lives. They change career paths and they stay in touch forever. And it's such an impact. Most of them are here for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, we always do, how do you feel? What did you learn? And you'll see tears, happy tears, how we impacted them and how they impacted us, because they're great. I mean, they're wonderful. So it's not just the staff, but it's the family. It's the city to raise a puppy.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.